Hey everybody, welcome to Monday, September 21st, 6th grade ELA. All right, so we're going to hop into it. You have a very important day today. Today you do have your first summative test, your cold read test. We've been talking about that for the past week. This particular test does need to be completed today. It is due today. That summative test grade is will be the first of your major grades for this 9 weeks. Also, we're going to cover together some test taking strategies, and a quick reminder, there are still some of you that have not turned in your friendly letter. That was your first summative grade. Your cold read today is your second summative grade, which are 2 test grades. So if you have not turned in your friendly letter, you need to turn that in ASAP, please. Okay, so we're going to talk about some test-taking strategies as you take your first cold read. I'm sure last year you had some awesome advice from your 5th grade teachers, but let's kind of cover a few things that you can maybe refresh your mind and you can apply to taking your test. Be sure you read your questions carefully before you read the story, and it's called The Bike. My recommendation is look at the questions, that way you know what you're going to be asked, what you're looking for. I always tell my students, just like a poem, you want to go back and read the story twice. Make sure you caught the details. Make sure you understand exposition, okay, which is characters, setting, and conflict. And then you move up the mountain to your rising action. Then you have your climax, your falling action, and then you have your resolution. So be sure that you are keeping in mind what we talked about last week. When it comes time to answering your questions, I would really like to see you find 2 answers that you know are just not an option. Mark out 2 wrong answers, okay? Because at least then that way you have 2 answers left, and then you can definitely narrow it down and make your pick your best option. Be sure you take your time, okay? You have the entire class period, and even if you don't finish before the end of class, remember you can definitely come back to that and finish it. Also, be sure you do go back and answer and make sure your answers are complete. Don't leave any questions blank. Please double check that you have not left any questions blank, okay? Okay, so you're going to ask yourself, how do I take my test? We'll be taking our test in CMS, so be sure you click right here on the yellow letters, and I do have some instructions here for you that you're going to need to follow, and they're pretty accurate. Actually, they're very accurate. 7th grade students used these exact steps, so we wanted to make it as user-friendly as possible. So if you click on the images in here, it'll tell you exactly where you need to go. So you just need to follow the steps. So here you're going to click on CMS, okay, first and foremost. Then you're going to change, it says right here, NISD employee. You need to change that to student/parent. Click on this drop tab right here, this little drop down arrow. Okay, log in with your S number and your 4x4. So be sure you change that. Log in with your S number and then your 4x4. Okay. Then what you're going to do is, let me come on over here. You need to make sure that once you've signed in, you are going to have a test code. Okay, so you're going to enter the passcode, and I'll show that to you in a minute. Sometimes it'll ask you to select a class first, so just select ELA. That's English Language Arts. So go ahead and enter your test code right in here. Okay. So selecting a teacher, please make sure you pick ELA, and of course you are going to need to pick Mrs. Ulrey. So you're going to pick in here Susan Ulrey. All right, so be sure you look for that and you get that selected. Any other teacher will not be a good idea, will not be a good choice. So be sure you're very careful with that. Okay, and that's going to be it. So just go back and review these notes, these steps if you have to, but that's the order that you need to be able to, that you'll need to log in. Okay, so moving on real quick. Where do I find my test? Well, you need to make sure you open a new tab. So up here, you would open up a new tab, go to your student portal, and I went ahead and I put the link here for you. All right, so you click right here where you see the green arrow, and that'll take you to my NISD portal if you need to. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to click on CMS, and then of course you're going to follow the instructions that you saw earlier on slide 5. Okay, so you're going to need a passcode and a test name. So your passcode is going to be all capitals, capital ELA 6, and then the word bike. Be sure you copy it just like this. And then this is the test name. You need to enter these numbers, okay? And that's it, guys. I know most of you said you've taken tests in CMS before, so this should be a little bit familiar for you. Take your time, and I wish you the best of luck. So if you have any questions, be sure that you email me, and that's pretty much it. Just be sure you get this test done by today. Have a good Monday. Bye-bye.